What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 641 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's KB coming at you from Underground Studios. We're going to talk Fightin' Phils as they've hit a bump in the road, lose their first series since the second series of the season, and I just want to let you guys know it's going to be okay. We're going to talk all about it. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook.com/Underground Sports PHI, and Twitch.tv/Underground Sports PHI. And check us out on LinkedIn as well. Follow us on LinkedIn if you or someone you know is looking for an internship. I know it's intern season. Maybe you didn't get that internship you were looking for. We are looking for interns at Underground Sports Philadelphia. So hit us up on LinkedIn or shoot us an email at undergroundsportsphi@gmail.com. Make sure you guys are following me on the socials as well to keep up to date with my takes on everything at KBIZZL311 on Twitter and KBIZZLE11 on Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews, especially on those two. It really helps because we get direct analytics sent to us from Apple and Spotify to see how the podcast is doing. So keep subscribing. Leave those 5-star reviews. It truly does help us continue to grow, helps us to hit new milestones, and allows us to reach a new audience when you guys keep subscribing. It gets us out into the universe that much more. So keep subscribing on Apple and Spotify. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week. I know the schedule's been a little wonky here towards the end of May. We're working to get back on schedule, I promise. But subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have surpassed 800 subscribers, which is awesome. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Lex, who helped that occur. And, of course, the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channels, where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. We've got some awesome content coming out on our YouTube channel that you don't want to miss. So go check that out, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Smash the like button, ring the bell icon, leave a comment down below to let me know you're not panicked about our Fightin' Phils, even after a little bump in the road. And of course, this show is presented by the city of Vineland. And the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. Guys, the Fightin' Phils, they hit a little bump in the road, and that's A-OK. As Bryson Stott's walk-up song, shout out to Tai Verdes, would say, the Phillies lose the series to the Colorado Rockies. It happens. It is a long season, everybody. And you weren't going to win every single game. You dropped game one that was easily winnable. You lose that 3-2 on Friday night. You lose 8-4 on Saturday. Or I'm sorry, you win 8-4. I read that wrong. You win 8-4 on Saturday to bounce back, and then you lose 5-2 on Sunday. Not ideal, not what you want to see against a very bad Rockies team. I mean, it's one of those things that's the beauty of baseball, is that anything can happen. There's no clock outside of the pitch clock now, but there's no timer on how long the game can end. It is truly just a a swing and a long drive or a swing and a miss. And that's the beauty of baseball. I think that's what makes baseball such a fun yet frustrating sport as a fan. And you just kind of have to roll with what is dealt to you. You got to see the pitches coming your way. And the Phillies were unable to capitalize and keep the consecutive series win streak rolling. But this is only their first series loss since the second series of the season. Let that sink in. They lost to the Braves to open the season. They salvaged the series on that Sunday game, which I was there, no big deal. And then they lost that series to the Reds, the one game they won. I was there, no big deal. But they are continuing to progress. They're working out the kinks. It's still May. It's May. It is Memorial Day, as you guys potentially are consuming this episode. And the Phillies are still the best team in baseball. That's the best part. The Phillies lost 2 out of 3 to the Rockies, and they went from being the best team in baseball to being the best team in baseball. They haven't lost a step. They're going to be okay. The Braves keep losing. That's also the best part of this. The Braves aren't gaining any ground on the Phillies because they keep losing. The overall beauty of what the Phillies are doing is it's happening now. You know, you'd rather see these little bumps in the road, these games early on kind of fall by the wayside a little bit. You know, if this happened in August, September, you'd be like, uh-oh, like what's going on? But you get kind of these kinks out now. You let these little blips on the radar happen in May, early June, and you're going to be fine. It is, like I said, it's a long season. It's a long season. The Phillies still have the best record in baseball. They are still the number 1 team in baseball. They continue to have their World Series odds increase week over week, day over day, series over series. And a series loss to the Rockies is, as my iPhone activates there, a series loss to the Rockies is not going to be the end-all be-all for this season. It's not going to derail the season. It's not going to ruin what the Phillies have accomplished so far this year through the first 2 months of the year. Okay? Like, we're going to be all right. Does it suck? Is it something weird that we're not used to this yet with this current iteration of the Phillies? Yes, it's weird watching them lose a series, watching them fall to a bad team. But it's fine. It's going to be all right. You know, these types of things happen over the course of a baseball season. You know, we've seen the Braves lose to the Athletics. We've seen the Braves lose to the Chicago White Sox. We've seen the Dodgers lose to teams that they shouldn't lose to. And, you know, the Phillies, Dodgers, and Braves are being regarded in that pantheon in the National League altogether. They're going to lose games. You can't go undefeated in baseball. There will never be a team that goes undefeated in baseball. Mark my words by that. And if there is, I stand corrected. But it is never going to happen that you're going to win every single game in a baseball season. These things happen. I still feel totally confident in this team. They're going to be fine. They're going to figure things out. They still have quite a schedule ahead of them. Obviously, with the Giants, the Cardinals, the Brewers. The Cardinals are getting hot out of nowhere, but who knows if that lasts. And, you know, historically, the Phillies have just not been good at Coors Field. I want to pull that up because in their history, the Phillies head-to-head against the Rockies at Coors Field. Let's see if this will pull up. Because historically, even in my lifetime, which is the Rockies' lifetime, the Rockies came around right when I was born. Let's see. At Coors Field, the Rockies head-to-head have won 55% of home matchups against the Philadelphia Phillies. They've won 55.4% of games at Coors Field against the Phillies. It is just a historically weird matchup and weird overall like thing that the Phillies just do not win at Coors Field. And I saw throughout the series people talking about how it was like a modern miracle that the Phillies won those games at Coors Field in 2009 in the playoffs. I'm not overall concerned. Looking here, let's see. Yeah, so the Phillies away are 55-55. They're a 500 team at Colorado in the regular season, and in the postseason, oddly enough, they're 2-1. So it's one of those things that's baseball, you know, and historically, you know, over the past, let's see, the last time the Phillies had a winning record in a series before last season, they went 2-1 at Coors Field in 2023. Before 2023, the last time the Phillies had a winning record at Coors Field on the road was 2012 when they went 2-1. And then obviously during the run from 08 to 11, so 08 to 2012, they had a winning record at Coors Field. But ever since 2013, 1-2 in 2013, 1-2 in 2014, 2-2 in 2015 and 2016, 1-2 in 2017, 0-4 in 2018, 1-3 in 2019, 1-2 in 2021 and 2022, and then 1-2 this year. It's just not a fun place for the Phillies to play for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a pitching thing. The bats just not coming to life when you need them to, which is weird in Colorado. But it's going to be fine. The Phillies are going to figure things out. They're going to be okay. And, you know, finish up this West Coast trip, come back home before you go to London, and the Phillies will be all right. You know, looking ahead to this Phillies schedule for what they have upcoming, because oddly enough, brace yourselves, June is coming. Schwarber season is coming, so gear up for that. But the Phillies in the month of June, you know, obviously they still have the series against the Giants, but in June, they have the Cardinals coming to town. Then you're home against the Brewers before you go to London. Then you have 2 games against the Mets in London. And then you come home from London to go to Boston and Baltimore, which will be interesting matchups. It's going to be tough games to win for sure, especially against Baltimore. And then you come home to play the Padres and the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are 2 teams that you should be able to confidently beat. Sure, the Diamondbacks maybe starting to find their stride a little bit. The Padres are playing good baseball right now. But those are 2 teams that we can confidently say we know the Phillies can beat. And I know that it's a different season, so I'm not even counting the NLCS last year against the Diamondbacks. But that is a revenge thing for this Phillies team. Most of these guys were on the team when the NLCS occurred. You know, there's only a few new guys, Whit Merrifield, a couple pitchers, whatever it may be. But for the most part, this team is intact from what it was last year. And you saw the Diamondbacks come into Citizens Bank Park, beat you on your home field to go to the World Series, stick their flag into Citizens Bank Park's turf, into the grass. That should be a lasting image in these guys' minds whenever they play the Arizona Diamondbacks in this era of Phillies baseball. That is something that this team should take out on them. That is going to be a fun weekend. It's Cole Hamels' retirement weekend on the Friday, which will be there. Sunday is the Sunday morning game for Father's Day. Me and OG will be there. That's a series that the Phillies should take personally and just absolutely bludgeon the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Padres, we've already seen the Phillies sweep them in San Diego, so that is something that we fully know they're capable of beating them, and they're down Xander Bogaerts now. Sure, they got Luis Ariz now, but all he does is hit singles. But you have those series, and then you go to Detroit for 3, and then you come home to play the Miami Marlins for 4. And if there's ever been an awesome medicine to just continue to pad up your win totals, it's playing this season's Miami Marlins. Which, like, this is so good, guys. Like, the Phillies they're doing the damn thing right now. They're doing the damn thing, you know. It should be exciting for everybody at home. They have the best record in baseball. They have one of the best home records, if not the best home record in all of baseball. Yeah, best home record in all of baseball by a large margin, 22-8 at home. This is exciting, guys. I mean, I know I say it every week, but like this Phillies team, they're doing something special, and it's going to be awesome to see what Dave Dombrowski does at the trade deadline. What he decides to pull the trigger on, what players he feels like will fit this team to not only make them better, but enhance them to be a World Series winning team, not just a World Series contending team like they are right now. They are contenders. There are other teams in the mix that will be there fighting for that title. But what are the moves that Dave Dombrowski has up his sleeve, along with Sam Fuld and the rest of this front office, along with John Middleton, that says, hey, let's push our chips in because this is the move or moves that will help us win the World Series, not just get there. And that's exciting to think about. You know, we are approaching June, and then July will be here, and the MLB trade deadline is, let's see, this year, July 30th is the trade deadline this year. What day of the week is that? July 30th. Is it Tuesday? Tuesday! What's up, brother? It's the MLB trade deadline. We might do a trade deadline special. Or the next day will be a podcast so we can recap everything once it all goes through. I do miss the waiver deadline so much. It was so chaotic, but man, it was fun. But there's a lot of things that can happen at this trade deadline. There's a lot of teams that are falling out of contention by the day. There's a lot of teams that are hanging around. Like I mentioned, the Cardinals have jettisoned themselves over the past couple of series that they've played to feel confident that they're somewhat in the mix in that NL Central, which is unfortunate because they have some pieces that I really want the Phillies to acquire. And I'm not talking about Goldschmidt or Nolan Arenado, and if you still want those archaic fossils, best of luck to you. But like, you know, the Diamondbacks, that is a potential team that when the Phillies play them in late June, we'll really kind of have an idea of where they are. Because looking at their schedule for June and July, the Diamondbacks will play the New York Mets, the San Francisco Giants, the San Diego Padres, the Angels, the White Sox, the Nationals, the Phillies, the Twins, the Athletics, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Braves, the Blue Jays, the Cubs, the Royals, and the Pirates, and be in the midst of a series with the Nationals as the trade deadline rolls around. So the Diamondbacks really can make or break their season in the month of June and July. And we'll know if they're going to be sellers or buyers by then. You know, the Phillies are their toughest go in the month of June, I would say, by far. With the Twins being like the next closest. But, you know, to have a month where you're playing the Giants, the Padres, the Angels, the White Sox, and the Athletics, that's a medicine to help you get back on track if I've ever seen it. But you look at a team like the Marlins, you look at a team like the Mets, you look at a team like the Reds, you know, the Rockies, and then in the American League, you look at a team like the Blue Jays. Are they going to be sellers with how underperformed they've been this year? You look at a team like the White Sox, you look at a team like the Tigers. Do they feel like they can contend and, you know, be a wild card? With how well the Guardians and the Royals have played and the Twins being in the mix, you know, is it opportune for them to just cash in some of these big chips that are performing extremely well for them, kind of like they did with Michael Lorenzen last year, and bring back some prospects to further cultivate what they're trying to do with the Tigers organization? You look at a team like the Angels, the Athletics, maybe the Houston Astros are sellers this year. You know, the World Series champions are under 500, but they're still kind of in the mix because that division is so bad. It's going to be an interesting trade deadline nonetheless, and the Phillies are going to be prime candidates to have the phones buzzing, to acquire, I think, whatever player they choose and feels like the fit is there, it's going to be there for the taking. And that's extremely exciting if you're a Phillies fan. I I just want everyone to just breathe. I know we all were pissed and annoyed with this series against the Rockies, but it's going to be all right. The Phillies are going to be okay. They're going to figure things out, bounce back, come home. After this West Coast trip, you finish up against the Giants, you come home, get some home cooking before you go to London, and go showcase your talents in London for a weekend. And then the true portion of the marathon begins of mid-June into July of what this team is going to showcase to the front office to be like, hey, let's go get an S-tier player to add to this team. Let's go get an S-tier bullpen piece. Let's go get an S-tier starting pitcher. Let's go get a superstar slugger for the bench. There's a lot of moves and strings and pieces that will be flowing for this Phillies team. But just everyone take a deep breath. The Phillies have lost 3 series so far in 2 months. That's phenomenal. You're winning more series than you're losing. And in baseball, that's all you want. That's all you want to see from your team. And the more the Phillies continue to do that, the better. And I truly am excited for what this kickoff into summer, it being Memorial Day. It's the unofficial start to summer. This start to summer for the Phillies is going to be absolutely spectacular. I can't wait to spend nights at Citizens Bank Park. I can't wait to spend more Sundays at Citizens Bank Park. It is going to be an absolute joyride, and I hope you guys come along with us for that ride because we are going to be nonstop with it, and, we're not going to do the bullshit type of stuff that the local radio station is doing. We know it's Philly season. This team is the best team in baseball. We are going to cover that team full-heartedly with our best efforts, top to bottom. And when Eagles season rolls around and it feels appropriate to talk about them, we will do that. When NBA free agency opens up in July, we will talk about that. When Matvey Michkov officially comes over for the Flyers, we will talk about that. When Water Dogs season kicks off, we'll be talking about it on OTB more primarily, but we'll talk about the Water Dogs getting those Dubskis and hopefully winning a PLL championship. When the NLL draft rolls around and the Wings have the number 1 pick, we'll be talking about it on OTB, and we'll be talking about it on this show. But guys, it's Philly season. Embrace this team. This doesn't happen with the Philadelphia Phillies organization every year. This is not commonplace in the history of the Phillies. Enjoy this ride. Don't worry about teams that aren't playing games, that aren't doing anything meaningful to the progression of what their season can be just yet. The Eagles are going to be fine. We'll get to the Eagles. We have plenty of time to worry about them later on. Live in the now. Live in the moment. And I think a lot of fans lose sight of that. They always are clamoring for a specific season because it's their favorite season of sports. But guess what, guys? We are witnessing history right now with the Philadelphia Phillies. And if you're even remotely close to a Phillies fan, you should be enjoying this. You should be embracing this moment. You should be living in this moment and dialed in on this Phillies team. And it truly is such a joyous and momentous thing that we're witnessing this Phillies team perform the way they are. And I just can't wait for it to continue. I can't wait for just a hot boy summer with the Phillies. And it is truly special to watch what we're witnessing, and I hope you guys divert away from the traditional media sense of, having to listen to callers cultivate content, and you come to independent creators like us and other outlets that are like us, and give them the support they deserve and showcase, our talents and give us a chance. Give Underground Sports Philadelphia a chance if you never have. And we will truly make sure that you are a lifetime listener of this show and enjoy the Philly sports content we're putting out because it's for fans, by fans. We are just as passionate and diehard as you are that are listening and watching. And we want nothing but the best for these teams. We're not trying to create controversy out of thin air. We're not trying to question players' demeanors. We're not trying to read too much into a way a player is acting. They are human at the end of the day. Players are human beings. And we lose sight of that as fans. We think they are these superheroes, these characters. At the end of the day, they're human beings just like you and I. And we are going to cover these teams the way that they deserve to be as fans, give our honest opinions on whether it's good, bad, or ugly, or in between, all of those. And right now we're living in the good. We're living in the great even with this Philadelphia Phillies team. So come along for a joyous ride this summer with us, covering the Philadelphia Phillies, covering every sports team. But we are going to be showcasing the Phillies all summer long. And it's going to be a ton of fun. We know Philly season, we get a tick up in audience. So come along, join us, join the Underground faithful, and let's enjoy what is looking to be a historic summer in Philadelphia baseball history. Make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook.com/Underground Sports PHI, Twitch.tv/Underground Sports PHI. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. You can check me out at KB Underground on TikTok or it might be Underground KB on TikTok and KB Underground on YouTube. I have my own personal YouTube channel. I've been uploading shorts and I'm working on something to give you guys a behind-the-scenes look of how I'm building this company and what goes into Underground Sports Philadelphia and why it means so much when you guys subscribe and when you guys follow us and interact with our content. So definitely stay tuned for that. Get your merch at phiapparel.co. Fill up your cart. Use our code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your merch orders. Most effective and direct way to support everything we're doing here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. And, of course, this show is available to you on Apple and Spotify. Subscribe. Leave a 5-star rating and review. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show every single week, twice a week. Full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It's all on our YouTube channel. We're over 800 subscribers. Let's get to 900. Let's get to 900 before 4th of July even. Let's set an ambitious goal for ourselves. But let's say 900 before the MLB trade deadline. And then going into the postseason, we hit 1,000. That would be great. So keep subscribing. Smash that like button. Ring the bell icon. Leave a comment that says hashtag AOK. The letter A, the letter O, the letter K. If you are truly AOK with where the Phillies are right now, being the best team in baseball. And, of course, this show is presented by the City of Vineland, and whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 641 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the City of Vineland. I'm your boy KB. I'll catch you guys on the next episode as we get set for the Phils to come home. A little bit of Eagles talk in the mix. Maybe Jimmy Butler coming back. There's rumors swirling about that. We'll touch on that on the next episode. But until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I am signing off. Peace.